Oh my god, it's been a while. Ah, where should I start? Okay, hmm. I guess we could start with my sophomore year experience when I first moved to Sarasota. Okay. It's been so long. This is so weird. Okay. Hmm. Now, 2 years ago, during my sophomore year, you know, still kind of new to Booker High School of Sarasota because I recently moved from St. Pete and St. Pete High to Sarasota, and I started attending Booker High, um, due to its ratings. And I will say Booker High generally is a pretty good school. Their priorities are weird, but I'd say the education and the students and the staff are decent. The students are decent as well, and the education is good, above decent. So I'd say that the school is okay. I'd say the school is good, not bad, at least in comparison to St. Pete High. But anyway, so my sophomore year, um, I was friends with, or I was in this friend group. Um, one of them, or one of the, I forgot the other kid's name, but one was Ro, one was named Ro, that I was great friends with, and I'm actually friends with, I'm actually friends with him now. Um, because me and him are both geeks and nerds when it comes to like Marvel and DC, and mainly those two, but other stuff as well sometimes. Then there was Riley, which I talk to every now and then, but me and him kind of, parted ways a little bit since my junior year, and I'm a senior now, so um, so yeah, it was four of us, and every now and then Riley would have one of his friends come over, and we had a spot in the cafeteria, obviously, like typical students at a high school do, or even middle school. They have their own spot that is pretty much is exclusive to only them. We had one in like the middle of the cafeteria, which you'd think we'd choose a more secluded area, but nah, we were pretty comfortable being in the midst of everything, more or less. Now, during this time, I was kind of a prankster, still ish, sort of, kinda. Um, Generally, I've always been a prankster. Like, I'd prank my mom sometimes, or I'd scare her, but I kind of stopped doing that because my mom has, problems with her neck, and if she, like, jumps too much, or if she moves a certain way too quickly, it can hurt her, so yeah, I gotta be careful with that sometimes. Just generally, I like to prank people. I don't do it as often anymore because it's not really that easy to get away with, but at least not as much as it used to be. But I remember this one time. Okay, so I think this is my fourth or fifth week being at that school. So again, I was still pretty new to Booker High, but I was getting the gist of it, and I was actually getting quite used to it pretty fast. Um, we went like during lunch because we have a fourth and then we have a fifth lunch. I believe we have fourth lunch usually, and we went to our table, and every now and then I'll get food or whatever. Um, I forgot what we were generally talking about, but it somehow led to a conversation between me, Riley, and oh I can't remember. I know it started with a L, so I'm just gonna call him L. But we were talking about something nerd related, like legitimately nerd related, like something that had to do with like science or math or something like that, and we were kind of like messing with Ro a little bit. Um, but because I sat okay, the tables are long, as you can imagine, it being a high school and whatnot, and I sat across from Ro, and Riley was sitting next to him, and L, I believe, was sitting next to Riley. Now, I forgot what I had for lunch. I'm pretty sure I had like fries or something because I had two ketchup packets, right? And as I know, like Ro, I believe he told me he has ADHD. I can't remember. I have ADHD too, by the way. Um, but his attention span is interesting to say the least. Um, so as Riley was talking to him or distracting him unintentionally, pretty much, I took the opportunity to because okay, no. Let's give a little a context real quick for what I'm about to do. So one time, Ro poured applesauce all over my shirt, one of my favorite white shirts at school, and I didn't even notice until the end of lunch because it was like on my back area, and I even put my backpack on so it just let all of the juices and like apple juice all the fucking just sink in and soak up into my shirt. And then he told me later on, and I was like, "Are you serious?" And I go to the bathroom, I take my shirt off, and yeah, the stain is there. Luckily, my backpack, it didn't really matter for my backpack all that much. All I cared about was my shirt. And I promised him I'd get him back. And oh boy, did I get him back. So, I took the two ketchup packets I had, because I already ate, my food. Like, I already used up all like most of the ketchup packets that I already got. I think I got like 4 or 3 even. So, there was 2 of them that weren't opened or weren't used, and I was already done with my lunch. I decided to open both of them, right? and and I kind of just okay. I opened the ketchup packets. I apologize for repeating myself. Again, it's been a while since I've done a story time, but I opened them, and then I sneakily just kind of tossed them over on his side so he would eventually step on them. Because the shoes he was wearing, I can't remember what kind they were. They weren't white, but they were his favorite shoes at the time, I believe. Or just one of his favorites, I guess. So, in my mind, like, have you ever stepped on something so hard, like a bag or a packet of some sort, something that wasn't like solid or plastic, and you stepped on it so hard that it didn't only spray outward in the direction that it was facing, wherever the opening was, but like, it also kind of leaned upward, and like, next thing you know, it's spraying upward, like in an upwards motion, or not motion, but you know what I mean. If you can picture that, that's pretty much what I was intending. And I got exactly what I wanted. How perfect was it that as him and Riley were talking about something or debating on something, and he just so happens to stomp his foot on both of the packets. And it does exactly what I imagined it to do, or at least what I wanted it to do. It sprayed outward. Some of it even got on me a little bit, but not nearly as much as it got on him. It sprayed all over his freaking legs, because he always wears shorts, so thankfully he didn't wear pants that day. Some of it even got on his shirt, which was white at the time, so that made it even worse. But most of all, a lot of it got on his shoe. His precious shoe. And when he stepped on it, he looked down. And I immediately knew. Like, when it sprayed on me, I didn't even notice until afterwards. Because I looked in his direction, he looked down. He didn't, like, legitimately scream. Like, he did one of those quiet yells. Kind of like, ah! Literally like that. It's not that big of a prank or that much. It's nothing special. But it was funny as hell to me. Because in my mind, I was like, yeah, see what happens? So after that, he looked to me immediately. And then me and Riley would always blame each other. Or put the blame on one another. Depending on whatever the situation was. And I immediately just went to, it was Riley. I saw him. And he was like, no, you did this. I remember you told me that you'd get me back for the applesauce. Is this what you wanted? Huh? Is this what you wanted, Travis? And I just couldn't stop laughing. I couldn't hold it in. My acting skills of just, like, lying weren't doing anything. I thought I could deceive him, but I didn't. I couldn't. It was it was amazing. It was awesome. It was funny. I was literally on the ground, and one of the staff members even went up to me and asked if I was alright. So, and that was when I noticed that some of it even got on me a little bit. But yeah, he's he's not letting me live that down. Even like a couple weeks ago, he was like, "Oh yeah, Travis, remember that Ketchup incident?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah." Hey, you had it coming. And I was like, I had it coming? Oh, well, you have something coming up your ass. Oh, wait. Yeah, he's a bit sus sometimes. We're both sus, but I'll say stuff like that too, but only to mess with my friends though. But anyway. Yeah. That was I guess my Ketchup story or incident or whatever. The title is going to be put in the video. But yeah. That was my one. Uh, Again, it wasn't anything special, but a very memorable prank, in my opinion. It was, I just remember setting it up, playing it out in my head, it going exactly the way it went, and it was the funniest thing to me. I don't know. So, um, so yeah, that was my story time for today. And my next one, I actually do not know what my next story time will be, but yeah. And I will see you guys in the next video, which will some plan. There's been a change of plans here and there for Halloween. I don't know if it's gonna go exactly the way I want to, but the next video is going to be me hanging out with my friends either way. So Jacob and Wyatt specifically. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.